All right. I think everything is now fine with our live stream and we can start. So, welcome everyone. My name is Alec, and this is another workshop that we are hosting on our social media on Tone Foundation's X, on Tone Foundation's YouTube channel. And this time we are bringing to you another workshop hosted by Tone Nest. This is a program that supports early stage founders. You can find all the details on builders.tone.org and apply for mentorship, get a lot of other benefits and perks that our ecosystem provides. And without further ado, I think I can make an introduction about what's going on here. So, as I said in the beginning, this will be a workshop like we are hosting from week to week. And this time we invited our good friend Eugene Karchun, who is a founder at Meme Hustle. Hello, Eugene.
Hi, Alec. Thanks for having me here. It's a
Yeah.
big honor for me, to have a spot for sharing my experience. So thank you guys for that.
Sure. Thank you so much for your time, first of all. And before we dive deeper, I'd like to remind everyone that this will be a workshop dedicated to the topic of the early stage playbook, since Meme Hustle is one of the biggest, one of the major GameFi projects in the Dons ecosystem. And I think that will be very interesting to everyone, especially those of you who are very early right now, to know all that experience from the founder's perspective. And in terms of the format, this session is being recorded and being streamed here on Zoom, on YouTube, and on X. And those of you who are watching this on YouTube and on X, please feel free to leave your questions in the live chats, and I'll be helping Eugene at the end of the session to facilitate all that questions and read them aloud. And those of you who are here on Zoom, those of you who are from Tonnest, you can unmute yourself when needed and ask any question with your voice. This type of questions will be having a priority. And in order to be here on Zoom next time and have the ability to ask questions with voice, you need to apply for the Tonnest program, as I said before. And yeah, you'll be getting the Zoom link directly from there. All right, so the first half of the session will be dedicated to the workshop, to the presentation type of format, and the second half we can be having some kind of ask me anything session, Q&A session, interview type of format, and yeah, just stay tuned till the second half if you will be having any questions, and we'll be going through all the questions. All right, and I think this is it for the introduction. And yeah, we can start. So over to you, Eugene. Before we
Perfect.
start, please tell us some more, a couple of words about your background so that we understand what
Uh,
Meme Hustle
of
is.
course, it's a part of my presentation, to be honest. So if you
All
don't
right,
mind, sorry. So
sure.
okay, guys. Yeah, let's dive deeper. So I decided to call this talk "Early Stage Playbook." Why? Because I really want to share truly practical lessons, not just theory, no motivational fluff, but just real things that founders actually go through in the beginning. And I'll be sharing what I've personally experienced and things I wish I'd known when I was just starting out, because this knowledge could have saved me months of time, dozens, maybe like hundreds of thousands of dollars, and of course, really less stress in my life. And to be honest, at this stage, everything is pretty simple. And as we know, like the simplest things, they are usually the most efficient. So let me tell a bit about myself so you would know who is speaking to you. My name is Eugene, and I started my career like as a sales manager in a tobacco company. And then I switched to the fitness industry, worked as a personal trainer, online coach, fitness manager, and fitness director. Also, I participated as a professional strongman, and as I like to say, so back then I used to lift heavy objects. Now I lift heavy projects. Yeah, and since then, like things have changed. I shifted into IT and startup world, transforming systems, helping startups to turn into companies. And I was working in multiple roles like CEO, CMO, CPO, and even CFO. I've covered like operations, marketing, product, finance, human resources, and a lot of other stuff. So I have pretty diversified experience. Why one thing I don't know how to do is how to write the code by itself. I'm not a technical guy, but I definitely know how it works on the surface. Um, so right now I'm a co-founder of several projects, and one of them is a Meme Hustle. It's a Telegram game built on a Ton blockchain, and we've launched in January this year. At our peak, we had like around 400K monthly active users. Now we are making around like 100K in monthly revenue, and still have kind of solid plans how to scale and what to do further. At the same time, I also work as a business consultant and advisor. I help founders with mentorship. I help teams with building like strategic systems, operational structures, growth strategies, go-to-market plans, and so on. But the most important thing I want to talk about today is that I've made a lot of mistakes during like my journey, and my goal is to help you make you fewer of them, or at least make them faster and cheaper. Yeah. So let's start by checking with the reality and to see how actually we perceive things, and to break some illusions we all might have at the early stage. And the truth is that the 90% of startups fail in their first year. And it's not because they don't have enough money or because the idea isn't good enough. Uh, the real reason is the operational chaos. No structure, no clear priorities, no discipline. I mean, discipline in terms of uh, how to approach marketing, how to prioritize your backlog, how you understand your unit economics, and how you approach everything in general. So most founders think that at the beginning they need investors, they need perfect product, they need like big marketing campaigns, but that's not true. What really matters in your like first like from 3 to 12 months is your team, like the people you work with and how you divide roles, your unit economics, how well you've done your homework, your forecasting, your calculations, budget allocations, how well you understand your numbers, how much it costs you to acquire a user, how much that user can bring you back, and your speed, your ability to test, to adapt, and to move fast. So reality is simple. You need users, you need traction, and you need ability to survive long enough to have a chance to build something which is really works. So let's dive deeper to such things like a product, like how to validate ideas, how to operate with your finance, and what are the like most common mistakes. This is like a main topics I want to cover today. So when you're speaking about the product, when you're at the very early stage, your product is not about features at all. So your real job is to identify the core value, the only one thing users will actually care about and interact with. On Meme Hustle example, we made a lot of mistakes here. So the core was actually very clear. Meme coins as a game characters fighting scammers, and that was a hook. And as we now understand, it was the only one reason users really played because it was fun, visual, and had a cool narrative, and they didn't care about all extra features we tried to roll out. And what mattered was the fun of seeing the characters, the vibe, the lore, that was it. So the first mistake I want to highlight is this. You don't need to spend months on polishing your MVP into some perfect product. Yeah. That's how you lose your time and resources. The perfect product doesn't exist. What matters is testing your ideas, testing whether they solve one core problem or have one strong hook. Looking back, like, could we have launched earlier, acquired users like cheaply, maybe even generated revenue faster? Absolutely. but like most teams, we got stuck like worrying about whether our MVP was polished enough, was it the right mechanics, and etc., etc., etc. So instead of get rid of all the not necessary stuff and launch our application maybe in mid of September 2024, we launched on the January of 2025, spent additional resources on development, on design, and etc., which now we understand like the stuff we called MVP at the time, it wasn't MVP at all. It was more like the product version 101. So uh, don't try to polish everything. Make MVPs, make tests. So one mistake we did, and one mistake which most part of founders do is the perfectionism. Perfectionism equals wasted time. So don't waste your time on polishing your MVP. Just launch and just validate your hypothesis on real users. Uh, okay, let's imagine you've launched your MVP and you got your first users. Great, but the truth is you don't really know if your product gonna work until you talk to your audience. And don't underestimate the resources you already have. It's your users. You've got the access to them, so use it and don't be shy about running like those first interviews, cause dev campaigns, talk to your community, asking to fill out like simple Google forms with questions like why are you using our product, why are you paying for it, or why are you unpaying for it, why do you come back, and etc., etc., etc. So uh, your first the feedback from your first community is the most valuable, because like metrics can lie. You can pump a ton of traffic, but if there are no quality users, it's worthless, and nobody cares like about your social media engagement. I don't know how many likes you've got, and etc. What really matters is the real feedback from your users and how they interact with your product. So in our case, we've got our first wave of community, and we already had a backlog like lined up of features which we want to do. And one of them was the leaderboard, but it was like really way down in the list, not a priority at all. But after talking to our users, after talking to our like community, they begged us to launch it sooner, even including them that fact they had no idea about like our further product plans. So basically, it was like just the perfect match. So things we thought might work, users told us that they really wanted. So we listened, we implemented it, and we instantly got a boost. Why? Because the community started inviting friends, they started competing with each other, earning like more points, which we give users as um, the asset which shows their activity within our application. So basically, a real social layer appeared. And it wasn't like the only one time. Like after this case, we still doing it, and we still try to listen to our community. And the key point from here, which I want you to take, is that when you don't have users, you are building your product based on your like team's assumptions. Yeah, your suggestions, your ideas, your hypotheses, and etc. But once you do have users, once you have data about users' interactions with your product, about conversions, about session durations, and etc., you need to set priorities based on that. You need to make decisions not on your, like feelings, but those decisions should be data driven. So don't be afraid to talk to your community. First of all, it builds loyalty, it saves you time, and helps you create a product for users, not for yourself. So it's a common case that you might not even fully understand why they like something, but if they like something, that's enough. So don't hesitate to talk to your community, make cost devs. It's a really useful tool. I know that in a startup rush there are like no time for making such stuff, but trust me, guys, it's a really important thing. Um, what's next? Let's talk about the team. uh, because everything what you do with your product, probably you're not doing it in a solitude, you're doing it with some kind of a team. And team is not just a group of people. Yeah, it's about clearly defined and understood roles. And the role of a founder is different from the role of a CEO, which is different from the role of a CEO or a CMO, and etc. And here is the key point: when everything when everyone is doing everything, like, you create chaos, and that doesn't work. There needs to be a clear division of responsibility. So now roles can be defined in different ways depending on the framework you use, and one person can cover multiple roles, and that's normal for a startup. But the important thing is that people should know from which role they are making decisions at any given moment, and switch between those roles consciously, like, is really crucial. uh, if you can have one person per role, like, that's great. But usually in a startup, it doesn't happen because teams are tiny. Later they grow, but in the beginning, it's often the core team handling, like, multiple heads, multiple roles. And personally, I like to use such a framework as they call, like, three H's. When you need three types of people in your team, like a hipster, a hacker, and a hustler. So hipster is a product guy, is someone who understands trends, sees where the market is going, has the vision for the product, what should be, and etc., etc., etc. So basically, it's the visionary guy. The hacker is the technical or operational guy. He's someone who knows how to build the infrastructure to make that vision real. So either they can do write the code or know how to hire the people who can, and they know how to organize the whole production in general. And the hustler usually is the sales or the marketing guy. It's someone who know how to package the product, how to make offers, how to communicate, how to pitch and sell. So, in my personal opinion, without this trio, no product really takes off. If you already have these three people in your team, like, great, congratulations. If you manage to combine all these three roles uh, in yourself, also great. But these three roles, like, a must have, as for me. And one more time, I want, to highlight that roles doesn't mean number of employees. And it's okay in a startup when one person can combine multiple roles. Uh, you just need consciously understand in which period of time you should switch in your decision making between, like, from which position you make this or those decision. Yeah. What we did in our team. In our team, we divided roles very clearly from the very beginning. From the start, we had the understanding of organizational structure. So we had kind of product department with product managers and business analysts, marketing department, which is split into social media marketing, business development, design and animation, finance department, supporting community department, etc., etc., etc. So from the very beginning, like, we established the structure, and this structure gave us a real boost in speed, because it created synchronized interaction and smooth information flow between departments. So, for example, marketers could come to product and say, "Hey guys, there are a narrative like users respond to. Let's build around this." Or, like, products could then feed the information back in time, so marketing had enough time to prepare appropriate marketing campaign and etc. So each person had their own zone of responsibility and enough space to do their job, and that's why we were able to interact effectively and move fast. Um, and also, in addition to, like, clear structure and understanding the roles, one of the most important, I guess, functions, which is laid on the shoulders of founder uh, or CEO, or founder and CEO, which is also a common practice, is the creation of the appropriate context. So you should deliver the right information to your team about why are we doing this, why we choose this direction, for what reasons we choose this direction or this approach. So if you give your team the most clear and understandable context, there are bigger possibility that without your like micromanagement stuff and etc., people will do like right things. Um, so yeah, structure and context are really helpful, and it is definitely something which helps us leverage in speed in terms of not only scaling but building from the start, like as well. Money. Money is definitely one of the most important resources, and right up there with your team and your idea. And like I like to say that money is a great servant but a terrible master. And at the beginning, money is not about the profit or buying the Lambo you dream about. Like it's more about survival. And there are like a few simple points I want to share. So first of all, you need to understand your runaway, how many months you can survive with the current resources. And the second one, you need to clearly understand your unit economics, how much it costs to acquire a user and how much that user brings back. Uh, Also, at the early stage, cash flow is much more important than profit, because once you run out of money, you are dead. Even if your product idea is great. If you can still generate some cash, if you are operating at small loss, you are alive, you have time to fix things, optimize, and figure out how to scale. So in Meme Hustle, during our like first 2 months, we made around like 60 thousand Ks without like any big marketing spend. And why it was possible? So let's dive deeper. For me, finance can be split into two phases, like preparation phase and execution. So during preparation, of course, we did forecast, we estimated when we would hit the break even, and we were off only by 1 month because we planned to reach break even in May, and we reached it in June, honestly. But here is like the big mistake we made. We didn't have the clear budget for the project in general. We didn't allocate the limited budget because we are like a self-funded team. There wasn't no hard red line on spending, and that was a mistake. So probably, like not probably, I'm sure that if we had a set proper budget from the beginning, we would have managed our resources in a far different way, both money and time, and I guess it would be like much better. We definitely would optimize on preparing like our MVP and etc. 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 So mistake number one in terms of finance, which remain, no clear budget. You guys need one. So before starting any kind of a project, even if you have like unlimited resources in your pockets, uh, you should set the allocation for the project. But there also were like things we did right. So we made a forecast based on market conditions and competitors. But after launch, our whole plan collapsed. So our unit economic didn't work. Why? Because user acquisition was way more expensive than we expected. And it happened because we launched at the worst possible time, right when the hype around Telegram mini apps was already fading. So we were buying ads, spending money on channel posts, and people just ignored them or let negative comments like, "Oh, like it's just another one top to earn scam." So just skip it. Um, we realized that this approach wasn't going to work and quickly reorganized. So we dropped paid ads and channel buys at all. So instead, we rebuilt our referral program. We introduced our revenue sharing model, which still works really good. And we leaned into B2B partnerships and collaborations with other projects whose content we believe was solid and relevant for our audience. And that what helped us to gather our first core paying users and generate revenue. And if we hadn't understood the unit economics, if we hadn't tracked how it worked, with a big probability we would just kept burning money testing channels that would have give us nothing in return. So on the preparation stage, allocate the budget, make the forecast, have the plan, because plan probably would be changed, but the um, existence of this plan will help you to start doing your first steps. And on the execution level, track everything. Track your marketing campaigns, understand your unit economics, understand how much you should generate from acquired users. I don't know, like the most classical approach is when your like CAC is 3 times lower than your like LTV. So for example, if you spend $1 for user acquisition and such kind of a user gives you like $3 back for their like lifetime on your platform, it's a healthy structure, it's a healthy economics. It's just one of the benchmark from the books. um, so team, product, money, I believe like three main pillars. I know that it sounds like really simple because probably you would expect it to hear like about launching marketing campaigns. Probably you will have more questions regarding it, but everything what you're gonna do with your product are based on these things. What you do with your product, how fast you are with your MVP and testing your hypothesis, with whom you do this product, how you approach those people, and how you operate with your money. Because how you operate with your money will define whether your marketing would be efficient or not, your product development would be efficient or not, your like operations management would be efficient or not. So I want to make a little bit of summary of everything we just been talking about, like the most common mistakes founders make. And I can tell you this like from my own experience and from working as an advisor with the different teams. And once again, I want to emphasize that I'm sharing this because I want to save you guys from the pain and to stop you from stepping on the same landmines I did and that I've seen like other founders step on. So, first, don't spend all your money on building the product before you even have users. Don't polish it to perfection, allocate a small amount of resources to develop an MVP, launch it, and then see if the idea is even valid. If it works and people care, then scale. The second, the most startups start with friends, and that's fine. But there has to be a clear understanding for roles. Who is the decision maker, who is in charge of what. Without that, there is a big chance the startup fails and the friendship ends. The third, don't ignore marketing because you think it's too early. It's never too early. It always depends on your resources, but there are plenty of free or low cost channels you can use. Sometimes you will need to do it manually, but it's fine. For example, I don't know, like just reach out to your friends and family and say, hey guys, here is the product I have launched. Please try it. I need your feedback. And if you don't mind, please share it to your friends and family, and etc., etc., etc. So you still have a plenty of different channels which you can use. Sometimes you will need to do it like as I said, manually, but it's fine. It's not a problem. All depends on the circumstances you're in. You cannot afford to neglect marketing because marketing is what brings you customers. And I always tell to my clients, no matter at what stage they are they at scaling stage, or they are in a crisis mode, or they are just launching a startup, uh, you are not um, allowed, to cut your marketing expenses, even if you are in a crisis period, because marketing is your tool, is your leverage of user acquisition. It is something which helps you to bring the audience. Probably the approach you are using is incorrect. You should make an audit and find out what are you doing wrong. But marketing in general couldn't be wrong. And one more thing, I also tell to my clients and on my mentorship sessions, all those gaps you've missed on a product design will cost you in terms of marketing. So the more um, viral mechanics you have, the more engaging content you deliver to your audience, the cheaper marketing gonna be for you. Fourth, don't rush to chase investors. First, build some traction and prove that your team can execute. From my experience pitching, uh, investors look less at what you are building and more at who is building it. They want to see if you can multiply the resources they invest in you. So you should have some traction, just to prove that you are able to make money for them, if I can say so. I know I really like Alex Hermosi quote. So if you lack confidence, build evidence. Like the same. Uh, your traction is your evidence of your ability that you can do something. And finally, analytics. It was like a really big surprise for me because I don't know, maybe around like 70% of teams I've talked to, they skip analytics part. They don't track numbers. They even don't include it on a stage of product development in their like functional requirement documents and etc. Please don't skip it. Like too many founders don't track their numbers. You need to measure product analytics, run regular team reviews, and look at your data and make decisions based on numbers, not on your feelings. Because feelings can be misleading and numbers like never lie. Uh, so, what are the key points I want you guys to take away from this session? First, speed is way more important than perfection. Second, your core idea, the main value and problem you are solving, is far more important than extra features you come up with. So, we are talking about the early stage. Don't waste your time on features at the early stage. Spend your time on the core value or the like main hook. Third, your unit economics matter much more than nice looking vanity metrics because your unit economics and understanding of your unit economics is your survival. The longer you can survive, the more chances you have to scale and to make like sustainable product. And finally, like your team and how you work with that team is way more important than idea itself because ideas can fail, but with the right team you can test and launch many more. But if you fail at building strong relationships inside the team, it's almost impossible, to put together that dream team that will really help you with. Um, Probably that's it from my side from the presentation. I propose to stay in touch. Here is my contacts. So if you like have any uh, questions or something you think I can be helpful with, so don't hesitate. Just write me in a DM. And
All right.
I guess there are gonna be some questions. So
Hmm.
feel free to ask, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much, Eugene. That was very clear and very good distilled how you put all that experience into a 30-minute presentation, a 30-minute speech. I really enjoyed listening to you. And yeah, we have some room for the Q&A part. And I remember Noah was asking if he's able to ask a question. So please, Noah, if you want to go for it, please unmute yourself.
Sure. Hi, my name is Noah. Um, Thanks for the very clear presentation. It was very helpful. And I just wrote some of the question. I hope I can articulate it in the understanding way. The first one that really concerned me is that how we can get the first 100 eyeballs on the project, from where and how.
Um, well, I can, thanks for the question, first of all. Um, I can share our experience and my personal experience in terms of other startups I work with. So, in our experience, based on we previously launched other projects, so we have kind of network of friendly influencers and etc. So we just reached out to them and told them, hey guys, we are launching a new product. Would you mind to highlight it? Like for free. We don't have money right now. Yeah, and it was the first push. From my other experience from startups which are not even into like Web3 space, yeah, it's more like with AI, HR, and operations and stuff like that. Uh, Everything depends on the niche and on the product you are working with. As I like to say, there are like always three ways, sorry, four ways. If you don't mind, I'm gonna like switch my camera. It
Sure.
probably would be better. Yeah. So there are four ways how you can reach out to your audience. Two of them like free tier, and other two of them are paid ones. First one is peer to peer. So you have your personal network as a founder. You just can reach out to people and say, "Hey guys, I'm Noah. I'm launching my new product. Come and try it. And if you don't mind, please share it to your network. I would be really appreciate it." And that's it. The second one, all of us like we live in a stage of a social media, blah blah blah. All of us like have Instagram, LinkedIn, and etc. Just make a post, and it's out of the topic, but your personal brand as a founder and your personal network is a really great leverage and tool which is usually underestimated. So
Yeah.
you even don't imagine how much it can boost your business just by reaching out to your network of people who you work with right now or you worked with previously. And if we speak like about like paid campaigns, you can the first I've mentioned is one to one, peer to peer. The second one is one to many, like free you through your network. The third one is one to many but paid. You can launch like Instagram target campaign, Facebook campaign. It depends whether you like have resources or not. And the
Oh,
first one is like many to many paid is when you like hire your in-house marketing team or you collaborate with some like third party like service provider. Uh, but basically exists only like four approaches how you can do it. If we speak in terms we don't have resources, try to leverage your personal network as much as possible. If you have resources,
mhm.
so you can just use the simplest bullseye framework, as I call it. So you should pick 10 sources of traffic, whether it's like different platforms. For example, Product Hunt is a good platform for launching new products. Yeah, you just can
Yeah.
list your product there and get like first feedback from early adopters there. Uh, you just pick up like 10 sources you want to test. You put the test on the small budget allocation and just see what was the performance. And if you see like for example 3 of 10 channels well like most performing, just scale them.
Sorry, what do you mean by the channels? You mean the social media
sources
channels?
sources of traffic, I mean, sources of traffic, I mean like
Yeah.
you, for example, you among all those like 10 sources of traffic, you choose like Facebook,
Hmm.
Instagram target, Telegram channels, Reddit, for example, TikTok ads, I don't know, like Google ads.
I
Like
see.
it's fun.
Thanks. I think you answered one of my other question, which was what are the first means of marketing that should be consider that should consider budget for? So thanks.
Uh,
All right. Thank you,
I'm
Noah.
glad I'm glad that I answered your question. Thanks for your question, Noah.
Thank you.
Okay, and we have a bunch of questions in the chat. I'm bringing some of the questions that we are getting from the YouTube and X, where this call is being streamed right now. But still, those of you who are on Zoom who wants to ask a question with voice, those of you will be having a priority. So if there is any question to be asked with voice using microphone, please go for it. Just unmute yourself. If not, I will be reading the questions one by one.
Yeah, sorry guys. Hello, can you hear
Sure.
me?
Yeah, Tim, please go for it.
Yeah, hi
Yeah,
Tim.
hello guys. I'm a founder of Hashwall. May I ask you, Eugen or Eugene, if I pronounce
Eugene,
correctly? Sorry. Yeah.
Eugene, it's okay.
Uh, can I contact you after this workshop? I have a few questions on GTM strategy and
Yeah, yeah, for
onboarding,
sure. That's
etc.
the reason
Oh,
why I've shared my contacts here.
yeah, yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you. That's all.
All right. And yeah, you guys both can use your native language in communication because you have the same origin. So, Tim, please feel free to reach out to Eugene. All right, let's go next. Do we have any other questions to be asked with voice, or should I read
I have some question,
the...
but I will try to ask it at the end if there was time, or I will write you, Eugene.
All right, yeah, sure. No, let's then read the questions from the chat, and after that, come back to you, Noah. And the first question says, what if we have no money for marketing at start? What if the best first step to get the first 100 users for our project? I think that question has
Really
been,
similar, yeah, with the Noah's question, to be
yeah,
honest.
yeah, that really, that's
Just,
something similar.
just
Mhm.
like in summary, sorry for cutting you off, Alec. Just in summary,
Sure.
guys, don't underestimate your network. Even if you're just starting, even if you don't like have any kind of business connections, you have personal connections. Just tell people about what are you doing. It's a really powerful way how to promote yourself. Like because like trends have changed. Trends have changed. Previously, for example, even in crypto, what was it like? It was like ICO narrative, some people doing some stuff, there is some product, they are raising some money, no one gives a care about who is behind this product, and people just giving money to some ghost. But like it's been, I guess, like from 7 to 10 years since that time, and things have changed, and now everything works in a different pipeline. Now you should establish your personal community. So you should be open. You should you should develop your LinkedIn profile, your Facebook profile, your like Twitter profile, and etc. And communicate, share your thoughts, and you should attract people just because of who you are and because of what thoughts you have populate among them. When you get your first community as a person, then you can launch your own brand. You can make community meetups, set up your Telegram channel or something like that. And then it would be like really easy for you to launch a product because you already have the community who will be like with higher possibility, more willing to buy your product just because they like you. Okay, if you don't have such kind of community, you can make those things in parallel. You can launch your product and just tell everyone about, hey guys, I launched my product. Don't be shy. We usually shy because not because of the failure by itself, but because of the uh, possibility that our failure could be public. Who cares? Who cares? Nobody cares. So don't be afraid to try. Don't be afraid to tell about what are you doing. Of course, there are a big possibility that you can fail. So what? Like you failed one time, you get your experience, you try another one. That's it. Like, rules are simple.
That's very true. Yeah. And I think we have one more interesting question, but that might be a bit long to answer. But still, it says, could you please share your fundraising journey?
Um, like I tried to tell it in short. On the final end, still we haven't raised any money. Like we still self-funded, but we've gained a pretty nice experience in terms of how to prepare to pitch, how to communicate with VCs, with angel investors, and it's like two different approaches, like way different approaches. I told you that one thing investors are most interested, of course, is the team, but behind the hood, it is always the market, yeah, in which this team is trying to, to make some efforts. Uh, and if you launch a new product, like which was like our mistake, we launched at really bad market conditions. And before having a plan to launch a product, uh, market should be in optimistic case on a growing phase or at least on a stagnation phase. If you are launching a product on a failing market, there is much lower probability that you would get like the investments from anyone, even if you have like the perfect team and etc. Because the environment where you're building is not appropriate for your growth in general. But I must say that this journey was really helpful because during we're still trying to raise money, to be honest, and we're still in a communication with a couple of VCs, and we are on a stage of a due diligence with a couple of them, and it's a really helpful experience because a you expand your network, you know people, you set up like personal connections. B, uh, is a great skill which you can to develop as a founder, how to pitch things, how to make presentations. And it's really helpful not only in terms of raising funds, but in terms of B2B communication, setting up any kind of partnerships, I don't know, talking to influencers and etc., etc., etc. So they're unperfect pitches, there isn't like any kind of common template which you can use because depending on who are you gonna pitch into, is it like Web3 we see or gaming we see or crypto angel, they all of them have like different aims and intentions, and you can pitch the same information with like different perspectives and trying to highlight different points. And for some investors, it is interesting how much money you can make for them, and for some investors, it is interesting what is the uh, most possible impact they can do on the market or some kind of environment by leveraging their money in your team. And it's kind of two different approaches because if you want to pitch your product to some philanthropist and talk to him about how much money he can make with you, he's not interested in them. He don't cares about money. He cares about the impact and influence he can make with your team. Um, so fundraising journey, I can say that uh, I would recommend to try to raise some funds uh, because it's easier to build your product when you are done stress about your runaway and etc. Uh, don't try to raise funds just because of funds. Try to raise from those people who can leverage you with their network, their skills, as we call it, smart money. And this journey definitely will make you more skilled founder. It definitely worth it. So even despite the fact that we haven't raised anything right now, uh, I truly, glad that we decided to step to this journey because I've improved my skills a lot as a founder.
Yeah, I believe everything will happen at the end of the day. And let's go for the next question. It says, can you please also disclose how was your traction growing throughout the time and what influenced it?
Uh, we still growing from month to month in terms of revenue. Like just last month, we get to some point of a stagnation in terms of monthly revenue. Starting from January to May, I believe, we also was growing in terms of monthly active users and daily active users from month to month. Uh, and so it was like really steady but sustainable growth. And as I mentioned, we didn't make any significant marketing inflows. Everything was built mostly on B2B partnerships, PR, I don't know, some kind of collaborations, and etc., etc., etc.
Okay. And yeah, what's the current monthly active users number? To my knowledge, it's around 200,000 or
Yeah, it's around 200,000 right now. At peak, we were like around 400,000. And during the summer period, it was like from 200Ks to 300Ks. Yeah, right now it's around 200,000, and daily active is around 25,000 users per day. But also it depends on product releases. So on that stage which where we are right now, when we like have like the core of our community, people really, they are waiting for new product releases, new gaming activities, because it's a specific audience. Like it's not like average, I don't know, crypto degens, like, or like DeFi users, where everything is really common and sustainable. Here people, they want to a new portion of dopamine and ways how they can have fun. So each time when we have new product releases, we in terms of new activities, new gaming activities, I mean, we see those like spikes in activities on our analytics.
okay. And next question, which numbers from analytics are important to track?
um all numbers, I can say, all due to your funnel. So we usually use AARRR framework, which means acquisition, activation, retention, referral, revenue, like due to funnel. And on each stage of this funnel, you have your like specific metrics. For example, total traffic you got, uh, users, for example, who opened the bot and who finished the onboarding stage, users who played game for X amount of time, yeah, like session duration, paying users, not paying users, active users, not active users, conversions to first deposit, conversions from first deposit to second purchase, purchases through items, and etc., etc., etc. So, one more thing. You don't need to establish your whole analytics system from the very beginning. You just need to, set up the foundation. And as I mentioned about the unit economics, you should understand like how much does it cost for you to acquire the user, and how many times does this user leave on your platform. So you need to track retention metrics as it appeared, and how much money you've spent to retain this user. For example, if you have some kind of bonuses or something like that, you should track this. And what does LTV means? All the revenue which user generated for you during his lifetime on the platform, minus all your spendings for this user to retain him on the platform. So based on this quote, you just can figure out which metrics you should to track. Well, usually like it's monthly active users, daily active users, average revenue per paying user, average revenue per user in general, customer acquisition cost, LTV, and like specific conversions due to your funnel, which is probably gonna be specific to the thematic of your product. Because for example, if you are launching, I don't know, decentralized exchange, they're gonna be in like number of transactions, fees generated, I don't know, number of whales on your platform, average LP staked amount, and etc., etc., etc. So it's really specific. I'd recommend to make a homework and to make a research what does like double A, triple R framework means, and based on this like funnel, just build your analytics system with appropriate metrics.
Thanks, Eugene.
All right. Thanks for your question, Noah. And the next question says, what are some low cost or no cost marketing strategies that actually work for your idea stage or MVP stage startups?
Also, one more time, like as we previously covered, we can say that like B2B marketing is almost no cost, but imagine we speak now like in terms of Telegram and Telegram mini apps. You want to launch your application, and you have like 0 users right now, and you go to like Boinkers, for example, or someone else, and you say, "Hey guys, could you please put the task in your like task panel? So your user is gonna subscribe or use our like application, and we're gonna do the same instead." And probably you would get it denied because you have 0 users, they have million users. It's like it's not comparable. So at first you need to get your like first from 10 to 20,000 users to be able to make those no cost or low cost marketing stuff in terms of B2B partnerships and etc. I'd recommend to reach out to influencers. There are a lot of good guys who can really promote you for free or for revenue share. Also, as I've mentioned, uh, all the things you are missing from the product side would cost you your marketing funds. So, for example, if you are making, let's say as an example, like uh, all those uh, gambling roulette gifts, Telegram gifts applications which we have right now in Telegram, like Rolls, like who else, like VirusBot, who else? Uh, Simple mechanics, really understandable. Users promote it for revenue share, like just by themselves. I guess it's better to talk to guys about their marketing spendings, but as my experience from iGaming, which I have a little bit as well, tells me that if you have the right revenue sharing model and you promote in a couple of small channels your product, you're probably gonna be viral because users like such kind of mechanics. It's just one of example. So it depends on your niche, on the specific of your product. But common stuff, which I can repeat one more time: network, B2B partnerships, and don't be shy to reach out to people and ask them to promote you for free.
All right. Yeah, that's one of the questions is which is being asked very frequently. Yeah, no, your hand is up.
Speaking of which, where can I find these influencers? Like how should I, get them? Where are they?
Do your research, follow people.
Sorry, maybe
Uh,
my question are stupid because I'm coming with the programming background, so I'm shifting from programming and technical side to the project management side.
yeah, I understand. It's a good question, to be honest. So like there are I'd like to say probably there are two approaches you can do. One approach, you can do it by yourself, like making your researches, I don't know, making YouTube search, TikTok, Twitter, Reddit, and etc., and just to reach out to people. Hey guys, here is my product. Would you mind to promote it? Maybe I will give you like some, I don't know, in-game currencies, in-application bonuses, something like that. I just really need your help. Or if you have resources, or if you have like low resources, you can reach out to any like QL management agency, yeah, and say, hey guys, I want to set up a campaign. I have this budget. What can you offer to me? That's it. And you probably can ask where I can find those agencies and etc. So I'd recommend you to find a ways how to get into like specific builders communities, which are really helpful here in Telegram, I might say. And I got a lot of connections and a lot of business synergies just because of being within those communities. But speaking of like business communities, I want to emphasize on that point that don't perceive being a community as a consumer. Try not to consume. First of all, you should be willing to contribute to help other people.
That's right.
That's the main point.
That's right. Thanks.
Okay. And
Thanks for the
yeah,
question.
let's go for the next question. It says, what are the main reason in a game project that increase user retention in Telegram ecosystem?
Come again, please.
What are the main reason in a game project that increases user retention in Telegram ecosystem?
Uh, for like some time, it was the possibility to get some token drops, but as I say now, if you are building a game in Telegram and you can avoid token generation stuff, you should better avoid it. Because what we've seen like during 2024, I perceive it as like proof of concept, as a POC of Telegram gaming, which showed us that games have possibility to live in Telegram, and those top turn and token acquisition mechanics, they works. It's a great acquisition, but with tap turn, there were no any kind of retention. And if you want to build a game, you should build a full-sized game based on like typical user's motivation. And what are these types of motivation? Yes, like leadership, being the first one in the leaderboard. uh, People want to collect stuff, people want to compete, people want to collaborate, people just want to have fun and spend some time, like five main motivations. But Telegram has its superpower, yeah. uh, it's a great environment for socialization. So probably if you will implement social mechanics to your game for people, so they can invite their friends from their contacts, they can collaborate, they can make, I don't know, some player versus player mechanics, and etc., 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 probably you will have like the high retention. Because if we speak in terms of retention in game, it should be fun, it should be enjoyable. That's the point of retention. I don't include such aspects like UI UX, how everything is understandable, your uptime, how everything is running, is everything is smoothly or not. Like it's the foundation, yeah. So you should make everything correctly, correct onboarding, good uptime, no logging, and etc., 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 which basically we have on our side, because the product by itself is really solid, and it's not easy, to handle it from a technical perspective. But like anyway, entertainment mechanics. If you want to retain your user, you should answer the question why your user should spend their attention in your application but not on a Netflix, for example. Because you are fighting not for user retention, not with the other mini apps or etc. You are competitors with other stuff which users can pay attention to instead of your application. If we speak in terms of gaming.
All right. Thank you for your answer, Eugene. Let's cover a couple of more questions really quickly. And yeah, I believe that will work for you, Eugene, because it's been over 1 hour since we started. And if that's possible, we can cover just quickly a couple of more questions.
No,
And
all good, no worries.
all right. And the question says how to know the project idea is the main cause or failure and should drop it.
Uh, That's the MVP. That's why I said don't try to spend all your money on building the MVP, not trying to polish everything clearly, because even in our case it was like too risky because before beta launch I even don't want to saying loud how much money we've spent on the development because numbers like are like crucial. Uh, Allocate some budget you are okay to lose in a moment of fail if it happens. Make the simplest MVP as possible, launch it, try to acquire some first users. If you see that it works, that users give you some positive feedback, that you see that they interact, they stay retained, then just scale. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and another question, if a team isn't naturally strong in marketing, how would you suggest they move forward without burning out their runway?
Well, I'm really glad for you guys if you are strong in marketing because like
No, it
if you
says
all
if is not naturally strong in marketing.
isn't not naturally strong, try to find someone who can leverage you. Trying to find it, hustler I told you about. So if you don't have like resources in terms of like paying fixed money to a person, you can offer like some part of equity or whatever. Like it's okay on a early stage. Uh, I can get you acquainted with one company who actually provides third-party marketing department services. Just reach me out in DM and I'll make a chat for you guys. So you try to like of course you can try to develop your marketing skills, get some like education, and you always should get education. You always should learn, and etc. But the question is if you have time or not. If you don't have time for learning new stuff, then you just can leverage someone from the outside, yeah, who can help you with their expertise and etc.
Okay. And one more question. What is the user retention rate in Meme Hustle?
For now, we are at the level of the good Web 2 games. So retention day one, if I'm not mistaken, is around 35%, something like that. Uh, so pretty good metrics.
Okay. And we have two more questions. Thanks for just a couple of thank you words from multiple viewers. And the question says, how to make the best product market fit? What are the tips? How do you do your own research?
Um, from my experience, I'm not sure that I know how to do it because everything what I do with the startups is the experiments as well. And like I'm trying to make experiments on the cross border of different niches. For example, how meme hustle appeared uh, in 2024. We, as everyone else, like just one point from our background, our team, we are like from Binance Smart Chain, and we switched to Ton because we've seen like the narrative around stuff with top turn and etc. And previously we were like building iGaming products and DeFi as well. So we try to make a cross point. What if like and of course we wanted to launch meme coin launchpad as everyone at that point of time because of oh my god, pump fun and etc. But then at some moment of time, we made a brainstorm session, and tried to break down everything really clearly. So we have the environment, the Telegram, we have the hype on Telegram with games, which no need to download, easy to access, and etc. But user acquisition is great. User retention probably gonna be not so good. What if we take popular narrative around meme coins and like from our initial idea to make a meme coin launchpad, what if we take these meme coins and just wrap everything into a game which might be popular in Telegram? So idea appeared on a cross border, like of two different niches of two different approaches. One of the things which I'm building right now as well is the tool for HR and operations. Uh, my superpower, as I like to say, is operations management. I see stuff which we can, improve, make more efficient. I love to build systems to make everything efficient and etc. But I do a lot of manual work, and I decided why can't just automatize everything and make pipelines and even try to leverage AI to help me to make those pipelines. And it's the other startup came out and we already like have like around, I don't know, 20, I believe, B2B like first users who would like who see, the value in such kind of product for them. Um, if I said, I don't know, in terms of tips, it's really hard for me to say because um, maybe one tip I can say is don't be afraid to make experiments. So if your startup idea doesn't sound weird, probably you're doing something wrong because like each startup we see which is like really successful, for someone it was like weird at some moment of time. And also, one more thing as a tip, what I can say, uh, probably if you share your ideas with your like mediocre friends and they say that your idea is not good, probably your idea is good because they don't have like, enough vision to this world to evaluate your idea.
Thank you very
All
much.
right. Yeah, thank you for asking. And I think that was the last question in the live chats across different platforms. So let's give it the last chance if someone wants to ask a question with voice. If not, we will be wrapping it up. Okay. Whoever wants to ask a question, please unmute yourself and go for it. All right, then I will count that as no questions, but still, that was so really impressive, Eugene. Thank you so much for sharing that, all that amount of information. I was thinking if only you have had a Telegram channel where you would express all that ideas, all that experiences somewhere. That would be very useful for everyone,
To
especially
be,
those
to
of
be
you.
honest, I have a Telegram channel. It's in Ukrainian, but I believe because of the such features in Telegram, so you can make translations, it can be accessible to everyone. So feel
I
free to
didn't know
join.
that. Yeah, but still, yeah, let's try to find out the Eugene's Telegram channel and subscribe and use Telegram's native feature to translate the posts because that will be very interesting. And yeah, that was a very good one and a very enjoyable one. Thank you so much for hosting it, Eugen. And thank you to everyone who've been watching this session here on Zoom, on YouTube, on X. And the recording of this session will be on our X and on our YouTube channel. And the most convenient way to find the recording will be the YouTube. And yeah, whoever will have any questions, please apply for the Tomness program and come with your questions. We'll be helping you out there. All right then. Have a great end of the day.
Yeah,
Thank you so
thank you,
much
guys, for
once
having me
again.
here. Thank you,
Yes.
guys,
Bye bye.
for having me here. It was a big pleasure for me to have the opportunity to share my experience with you guys. I believe it will be like really helpful for you.
Yeah, super
It
useful. Thank you.
was very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I'm
wish
glad.
you good
I'm
luck.
glad.
Bye bye, everyone.
Thank you
Uh,
guys. Have a-
sorry, and can you please provide the recording as well, as I connected to the conference just a little bit late?
Yeah, you can find that on our YouTube channel. Please find Tone Foundation's YouTube channel, and the recording will be there.
Thank you very much.
All right. Yeah. Bye bye,
Okay, guys.
everyone.
Have
See
a
you
good
soon.
one.